Ba, ba, da, 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 da. Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from State of the Spark. How are you doing today? It is Wednesday, and it is the Wednesday before the new year. And I think a lot of people have some hopes building up that this new year shift will be a new you shift. Of course, we're used to saying a new year, a new you. I think people really are hoping that things shift gears for 2021. I personally believe that 2021 will be a level of abundance and excitement like we haven't seen. I think that most of us aren't emotionally or mentally prepared for 2021 because I certainly believe that it is going to be powerful for so many people. And if it isn't and you're not feeling it, I'm hoping to speak that into existence. Yes, I'm hoping to declare that 2021 is going to be abundant for so many of us. So I'm excited for 2021. Now, we've been talking about goal setting, and I'm super pumped today because we got a little bit of other news. Only two small other newses because I want to get into how to help you more effectively set your goals. So again, a lot of people are done with the year. They're done with thinking. They're hoping to slide into the new year and finish off whatever Kahlua or Bailey's they have left over for Christmas. And hopefully their brains won't get cooked too much with too much pressure. We see this in our business. We've had 2 crazy days in our business, and I would be lying if I told you these were easy days the last few days. They've been very challenging. But I think what a lot of people are doing, trying to get a lot of work in and then get into the last hurrah this holiday weekend and just shut the brains off. Goal setting is like next level. People barely have the energy to finish off their business, let alone think about esoterically their goals. But I'm here to tell you, Uncle Grant is telling you, I think you have to. I think we have to think about our goals because this exhaustion we feel, this weight of 2020 that we hope just falls off of us on January 1st, that weight falling away will only happen when you have mental and emotional clarity. When you clear yourself of your baggage, when you clear yourself of your frustrations, when you clear yourself of your old habits, that's the only moment that 2020, the 2020 vibes will fall off of us and that we will be free to kind of grasp our new self. So we've been covering goals. And earlier this week, we covered how to do the download because a lot of us are just having this panic brain full of so many desires, ideas that it's just shutting us down. And I think even the non-ADD people can say, yeah, man, I feel like if I didn't have ADD before COVID, I've got ADD now from all the time we've been spending scrolling, from all the time we've been spending Netflix binging, from letting our minds collectively just slouch. A lot of us who didn't have ADD probably feel like you have it now and your brains are cluttered. So we started Monday with the activity I do called the download. And the download is how I basically start to try to get everything out of my brain. And I am feeling it today. Monday and Tuesday, I was just throwing so much new stuff that I'm like, oh man, I'm a hair's breadth from setting some time aside this weekend and just downloading my brain and getting everything out. So what is today? So if Monday, we actually took time to get the download night, and I warned you, do not try to organize. Do not try to strategize. I believe that's a different part of the brain that gets taxed very easily, that gets exhausted very easily. We're not talking about prioritizing yet. We're not talking about strategizing yet. In fact, I talk to a lot of my hyperactive thinkers, especially over on TikTok, but here too, and that is this. We can channel our crazy brain into a master plan. That can happen, but we've got to set the time aside. We've got to sit down and do the work to do that. But in order to do that, we have to take these in bite-sized chunks. Mondays was the download. Today's, no, we're not going to strategize today. We're going to categorize today. But before we get into that, we've got other news and a morning cup of gratitude. So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We're going to loop back right now. And we're actually going to do a cup of gratitude. Grab your warm cup of tea or Joe or hot water and let me know in the comments what you're grateful for. I'll begin. I am massively grateful for this new community I've got going on over at TikTok. They're asking great questions. There are people looking for answers. And I don't know if it's the nature of TikTok. I don't know if TikTok just attracted a bunch of ADHD people. I don't know what it is, but they ask questions and then we answer those questions. And in answering those questions, we're building up a community. We got a community of the Goals and Gratitude and Small Business Group, but you don't get a lot of questions. I feel like this audience really feels like, we're good. We just need encouragement and we're good for business. And it's like, man, don't we have any questions? Don't we need to strategize performance? So over the TikTok, I'm super grateful that I've got a great TikTok group. But what are you grateful for today? And I did want to say this. I'm super grateful for new beginnings. I love it. Like I said, I'd be lying. And I don't want this to boil over into today too much, but yesterday and Monday were very difficult days at the business where there are a little bit of fires, yet we put the fires out. The team rallied. We did really good, but it was exhausting. And me and Marissa came home and had a drink last night. We don't always come home and go, I need a drink. Give me a drink, honey. Me and Marissa did last night, man. That is for sure. So I'm grateful that for new beginnings, we got a brand new day today. I was on it early this morning. I got up and lined a bunch of stuff up this morning. I talked to my community on TikTok, which I'm grateful for. But that is what I'm grateful for, my community on TikTok and new beginnings. What are you? What are you grateful for today? I want to hear in the comments. Tell me what you're grateful for. Express it. Let this be your opportunity, not just for Grant. What does it matter if Grant knows what you're grateful for? What it matters is that you declare to the world your level of gratitude. So I want to hear in the comments, this is your moment. This is your sign from the divine that you should be expressing gratitude into the world. And I'm also grateful for the new beginnings coming up January 1st. Are you mentally prepared to capture that momentum? There's a cultural momentum that goes on from December 31st to January 1st. There's a cultural momentum of starting freshly. Are you positioned mentally and emotionally? Emotionally too. Are you positioned? Is your heart open and free from baggage? Are you ready to just grasp the world and breathe it in? You need to change all of your posture and get ready. So that's what I'm grateful for. Whoa, Grant, settle down. It's 6:30. I know. But if I don't start like this right now, I start slumped. Oh, man. If I don't start like a lion on the prowl on my day, then I start slumped. So that's just what I'm doing. And maybe you're doing it with me. I hope so. I'd love to hear what you're grateful for in the comments. So in other news, number one, what crazy experiments? We've done some experiments in space, but what crazy experiments do you think we've done in space? Hold on, Divvy. There we go. Boom. Well, we've done a few crazy experiments in this article that I pulled up right here for you to consume. Boom. It covers some of the 7 most interesting experiments we've done in space, and I will give you my top 2. Number 1, we did the hammer and feather experiment on gravity. In the early days of space travel, in general regarding gravity, everyone's like, oh, things don't fall at the same rate of things of different mass don't fall or get pulled to the surface of a planet at the same rate because of gravity. If a bowling ball is a bowling ball and a feather is a feather, the feather's going to land at a different moment. And this experiment has gone awry in many ways on Earth, especially because we have atmosphere and wind and all kinds of things. But it shows definitively on the moon when we took a hammer and a falcon feather and dropped them, they literally land at the same moment. It's very clear. That's one experiment. The other experiment that I thought that was pretty interesting to watch was done by one of our favorite astronauts, Kelly. This guy was awesome in space because he connected with students quite a bit. I think he's personally responsible for making the curiosity of space happen. And so he did this experiment where and there's a YouTube video of it, where he put a glob of water, added food coloring, and then added basically an Alkaseltzer tablet. And it is funky to watch. So you got the link right there in the comments. You really got to check it out. It's funky, funky, funky to watch what an Alkaseltzer tablet does in a globule of water in space. They also do the fire experiment and different things, but it's fun to see the different experiments that have gone on through space so that we can understand the nature of those things. For example, watching the globule with an Alkaseltzer tablet, watching the gas expand quickly at first, which is early gas, but eventually it turns into large gas bubbles, and this is other molecules combining. Very, very interesting. You got to check it out. That's other news, another one. And oh, there's also space spiders. And do space spiders weave their webs the same? Check it out in the article. Very interesting. Here we go. For those of you fuddy-duddies who have now heard me refer to TikTok one too many times, I have found for you in the comments the Out of Touch Adult's Guide to Kid Culture. Yes, this is the Out of Touch. And Marissa, this is for you, my love. This is me calling Marissa out. Marissa just gave me a heart a moment ago. Maybe she's going to take it back. I don't know. But this is the Out of Touch Adult's Guide to Kid Culture. And so many, many internet controversies. Is it really that dramatic? No. But for those of you who are like, what the crap is going on with Tick? Who is Charlie D'Amelio? Who is this, that, or the other? I have the link for you there in the comments. It's super funny, but it kind of covered what went on in the interwebs this week. Yes, there are TikTok dances. Yes, there are the best TikTok and YouTubers got together and basically did a collaborative piece on YouTube, which was labeled one of the most successful cross promotions in history based on the viewership. Now, these are names of kids that you would have no idea who they were. Charlie D'Amelio is probably the only one you would recognize. Marissa says, we're not fuddy-duddies. Chuckle, chuckle. And the truth is, you are. We're not fuddy-duddies. We go hiking. Well, from that regard, Marissa's not a fuddy-duddy. If anything, I am the fuddy-duddy. Marissa does take it outside. Take it outside. Take it outside. Marissa does take it outside. She's not a fuddy-duddy. But sometimes she just is. And sometimes I just am. But this Out of Touch Adult's Guide is actually a quick primer. This cross promotion is very interesting, and I want to call this out because for those of you who are wondering, like, do you remember what it was like in high school for there to be a cool crowd? I would say that this group of TikTokers and YouTubers have become every high schooler's cool crowd. That's the power of the internet. It's powerful from that regard, but they now look up to this small group of friends who get together once a year and do Christmas collaborations where they give each other's gift exchange, and you're watching them give each other's gifts. They're not giving you gifts. They're not giving you shout outs. They're giving each other gifts. It's like being invited to the cool kids Christmas party and hovering and be like, maybe this coolness will rub off on me. Yes, it's a real thing and kids are dealing with it. And that is your link to actually getting looped in. And there's other stuff too. What's going on other YouTube channels? What's going on with the Cyberpunk video game release that so many young people were looking forward to? It's all there, available for you. And that, my friends, is your other news, you fuddy-duddy old adults. Here we go. So, as promised, we're talking about goals. It's aliens. Remember that meme? It's aliens. It's goals. Like, hey, Grant, what's going on? It's aliens. It's goals. Long story short, we've been talking about goals this week because we're building up to a new year. And on Monday, we talked about the first step, which is the download, which is meant to be a cathartic moment. Our brains have so much briar patch, has so much bramble bush. We just need to write stuff down. I suggest on sticky notes because we are spatial in our memories and we have all these little micro PTSD moments of all the desires, all the dreams, all the needs, all the requirements, all the responsibilities that we have. They each need to be on their own sticky note. They need to exist as their own synapses on a sticky note on your desk so that it's out of your head. And then when someone says, hey, where's that thing? You at least know it's on your desk. Get it out of your head because we need powerful thinkers. We need powerful dreamers. We need powerful, clear thinkers. I don't care if you think you have ADHD. I don't care if you think you're normal. I don't care if you don't come from a powerful thinker's background. I know that I come across larger than life quite often. Marissa knows I do not have it all together, but the introverts don't not have it all together either. There are brilliant thinkers. And honestly, I believe most of you are brilliant thinkers. And I think we have so much bramble bush, briar patch. I think of Brer Rabbit all the time. The stories from my youth, Brer Rabbit in the briar patch. I picture that we are stuck in tar and have thorny briars in our brains. And this is all those different thoughts about how we want to market, all those different things we got to do regarding taxes, all those different things we got to do regarding delegating, the social media we got to push out, that product I've always wanted to write, the book I've always wanted to write. How can I just get away to the beach? I want to go hiking. Does this sound like your brain? Does this sound like your heart? Does this sound like the frustration from 2020 just bubbling up in you and you don't want to carry that into 2021? Me neither. This is literally how my brain feels all the time. And when someone's like, by the way, could you switch gears and look at this thing? And I stare at them, I literally have to wade out of the tar and briar patch of my mind, trying to get to a point where I can get back to clarity. But here's the thing. If you can get all these thoughts out of your head and on paper and breathe clear air once again, and then from a fresh mind, apply that same energy to a single problem at a time, to a single thing at a time, you would also seem genius because everyone else is also mired. Most everyone around you is mired in their own thoughts and desires and have no method to get it out. So on Monday, we did the first step, the download, get it out. And I did want to say this, if you did that download and do not feel any clarity, there's probably stuff still in there, or the faucet is still turned on and more new stuff is coming at you all the time. That's okay. You're supposed to take your time with this. I am not joking with you that when I turned 28, when I was 28 turning 29, I gave myself, and I'm not kidding about this, I committed an entire, hear me on this, do not browse away. You've got to hear me, and I want you to pause and think about this. I gave myself and took an entire year. I didn't misspeak. I turned 28 and I said to myself, when I turn 29, I want a master plan. And I gave myself the grace to give myself patience and said, a year from today, I want to be radically different. And that top thing to make me radically different was a master vision. No, we are not talking about a 15-second silver bullet. TikTok's 15 seconds are like Twitter's 144 characters, and people think they can get insight or breakthroughs that way. Won't happen. I gave myself an entire year. My point is, if you did the download once and think, where's my catharsis? Give yourself at least a week of downloads. Heck, several weeks of downloads. Get it all out, and then turn the faucet of new inputs. Turn that faucet off. If you've got someone in your life that's always haranguing you, yes, I use the word haranguing you with new stuff, you need to say, hey, please, could you give me a timeout for 2 weeks? You need to block your calendar off from new requests. And I am even talking about new client requests if you're a small business owner. You need to put a big pause button. And I need to speak to myself because next week is the first week of January. And we have a train wreck of requests. That's my bad. I need to take the second week and the third week and block it off and just clear things out. Heck, I'll take the entire month of January, 1/12 of the year, to clear our deck. We've got to clear the deck. So if you did the download from Monday just once and it is still not clear up here and here, do it again. Go for a run. Do it again. Go to the gym and drink a cup of water. Do it again. Breathe and sit down with a loved one and not touch anything again. Do it again until you start to feel clear air. Okay? Let's move on to the second step, and that is categorize. Step 2, categorize. So we're still not coming up with a strategy. You see, a strategy is strategic. It is how you take two disparate items. I'll show you right now. I've got this sticky note and this sticky note. And where do they begin? And where do they go? Jessica says, love this. And I love the fact that she gave me a sticker. Boom. Thank you, Jessica. You are amazing. And I love the fact that you check in regularly. It shows you're out there hustling. I appreciate you. So let's say that you downloaded all these sticky notes and they're floating around in your brain and they're floating around on your desk. And let's say that your temptation is to then get strategic. And that's when you take them all crazy and then you go 1, 2, 3, and you start putting them in order. Now you have a strategy and a plan. That strategy and a plan is, I'm going to do this one first, this one second, this one third. We're not doing that yet. What we're doing first is we're taking all this briar patch that you downloaded and we're going, these are alike. This is the thing from Sesame Street. Which one's not like the other? Go look it up on YouTube. And we're going to say, okay, these two are health and fitness. This is business. Let's separate them. Well, if I've only got one in business, I can just tackle that one and I'm moving business forward. Now, if I've got 2 in categorization, then we have other steps in the near future and future videos where we actually show you how to categorize or how to prioritize them. But today, very simple. Organize them, my friend. Categorize them. Do not prioritize them. Do not strategize them. Do not rank them. That comes later. Let Uncle Grant walk your briar patch mind into the very simple, basic next step, my dear lovely friends, and that is categorize them. So let me give you my quick principles on categorization, and it's this simple. Number 1, set time aside. We did this for the download. Do it again. Please, dear God, do it again. Take your time, pause, give yourself 2 to 4 hours, get your favorite cup of coffee or tea, sit down and bring all of your stickies, set that time aside and put that date with yourself on the calendar, my friend. Please do that. Marissa, did Marissa turn that into a laugh? Oh, that was Ryan Chris. I'm not really sure. The second one is create a space to work in your home. So if we set time aside, in the last event together, what we did was we then went out somewhere new. And we did that so that you didn't get interrupted. You still want to not get interrupted, but there's a thing about geographic space. So one of the problems with our digital age is that our brains are spatial. This is why people with ADHD often end up in physical trades or crafts where they work with their hands because our brains are spatial. They have too many thoughts to organize in a digital space and it gets chaotic. I have notes in Google Keep. I have notes in Evernote. I have notes everywhere, and I don't have a way to sort them. Evernote helps me a little bit organize the crazy that's in my brain. But the reason sticky notes work is it's 3-dimensional and it's spatial. So if step 1 is setting time aside, step 2 is create space in your home. This could be at your desk. This could be, if you just have an apartment and an efficiency, even just a corner of the room that is always for your organized brain. You got a little calendar there. You got a little inbox for all your news stickies. You got a little organization system, which we'll tackle here in a second, for the organized stickies or the organized to-dos. You're going to do whatever it takes to get organized because the most organized thinker wins. Not the busiest thinker, not the fastest thinker, not the loudest person, not the quietest person. Those people do not win. Never. The people that win are the clearest thinkers. The clearest thinkers. So you can have ADD and call it a superpower. I believe it can be a superpower. I don't believe it automatically is a superpower. You could be an introvert like my lovely wife and claim you're over there thinking clearly, but the truth is you're just fuming. Neither one is correct. The one that is correct is the one that has the clearest thinking. So get rid of your assumptions. So you're going to set aside a corner. So I heard Tony Robbins say space, about physical space. Spaces should never have more than 2 purposes. The bedroom should never be about TV and shows, and it should be about sleeping and or sex. That's it. Your office space should never be about groceries and hobbies and work. Your home office should be about work and maybe one other thing. And I present for your consideration work and planning. Your spaces, because you have spatial memory, whenever you re-enter that space, you re-enter the modality. So if you have a planning space, when you go there, you'll get right in a state. It's state management, state of mind and state of heart and state of energy. It's state management. So step 1, set time aside. Step 2, create a space to work in your home. I go to one place in my home and it's art. That's where I paint. I go to another place in my home like this, and I do my shows. I talk to people, and I work. I do shows, and I work. That's what I do. Number 3, decide on your categories. Oh, Marissa says, notes everywhere, not a drop to drink. I do. I have notes. If I could just turn my camera, I've got these notes that I keep grabbing. I've got these notes that I keep grabbing. I've got, let's do this. Wait. I've got these notes. I've got these notes. That's another inbox I have. Hey, I'll get to it. Just don't freaking move it, right? But I know where it's at. I'll get to it when I can get to it, but I'm not ready to get to it yet. But I know where these things are. I saw a killer meme on, I'll talk about that later. So step 1, set time aside, get it on your calendar, 2 to 4 hours, get your cup of coffee. Step 2, create a workspace in your home. Dedicated space. Step 3, decide on your categories. Now, this is completely subjective, but let me offer 2 frameworks that I use. Number 1, the total life experience. That's Spark Total Life Experience. It's our freedom framework. Fitness and health, healthy, happy relationships, work we enjoy, and spirituality. I'll say it again. Fitness and health, healthy, happy relationships, work I enjoy, spirituality. Many of your goals might fit into those. But I do recognize it's largely insufficient when you've done a download of 100 or more goals and desires. So in my book, The Top 100 Dream Igniter, it's on Amazon right now, but we're re-editing it. That was done like 7 years ago. We're updating it. You're welcome to go get it. There will be an updated one. In fact, if you buy this one, when the updated one launches, if you message me, I'll even send you a copy of the newest one if you just want to get started before the newest one arrives. We were going to try to have it done by January 1st, but our designer dropped the ball on us. But let me offer to you the categories I use from the Top 100 Dream Igniter. Let me put it here. Boom. It should come through in the comments. Let's do that right here. Boom. Here's the ones. Oh, that says Lugos Travel. I don't want that to say Lugos Travel. There we go. So here we go. In the comments, 1, character traits. 2, spiritual. So character traits are like who you want to become. I want to be bold. I want to be confident. I know Ryan Odenweiler, who checks in now and again with us. I know Ryan Odenweiler wants to be influential, and I know he wants to inspire people. So that would be under character traits. Spirituality. I want to do peyote. I want to do ayahuasca in Peru. I want to pray again. I want to be a prayer. I want to do my mantras every morning. Mental and emotional development. I want to never react. I want to calm myself. When people throw challenges at me, I want to respond with breathing. And Jessica Ojeda would be a great person to talk to with the emotion code. Reach out to Jessica for that. Physical fitness, Operation Find My Abs. I want to weigh 178 pounds, man. That's like a healthy, fit, limber 178 pounds. And the different things I want to do. I want to intermittent fast every day. So there'd be a bunch of things in that bucket. Lifestyle. I want to drive a certain type of vehicle. I want to not drive a certain type of vehicle. Actually, I don't want to drive anymore. I don't want to drive anymore. Why do we have to drive today? I cannot stand this. I'd rather be using my brain or talking with people I love. Other lifestyle things. I'd like to do rain catchment on the property. I'd like to do solar panels on the property. Business goals. What are your business goals? We need to break the $200,000 mark with our team doing the work, not us. Adventure and travel. And Marissa's going to have a bunch there that she's already got lined up. So I pull the TLE, and there's overlap from the TLE and these, which are from the Top 100 Dream Igniter. So step number 3 is simply deciding on what your categories are. Now listen, let me throw a caution here. I recommend you do not do more than 7. Don't do more than 7. Why would you do that? Don't do more than 7. Your brain is going to start to lose track of items. Generally past 5 items, your brain really loses its ability to start to keep mental track. But 7 is probably enough buckets for the items. But do you do you, but just my recommendation, try not to go past 7, come up with your own categories. So step 1, set time aside. Step 2, create space in your home. Step 3, decide on your categories. And step 4, create bins, envelopes, or space for your categories. There we go. If you have a lot, if you did 100 or more, as you should have, and if you haven't, go back. If you've done 100 or more, you're probably going to need a bin or a large envelope for each category. Label them and have them physically visible. I'm telling you, and I cannot stand today's minimalist design. Because in today's minimalist design, we think things like, well, I can make it digital. I could put a digital and it's the same thing. Dude, I am telling you, people are not as productive and effective. And more importantly, they don't have as much mental clarity. Even if you have all of your notes and Google Keep, Evernote, all these places, your brain does not store. It's stored digitally, which does not have a 3-dimensional space. And your brain is looking for it and is completely lost. by where the stuff is. Having a physical space, a home office, buckets on the wall, envelopes, your brain starts to remember this stuff spatially more than anything else. And I'm committing this. I am going to actually do things old school in 2021. Not everything. I can't do everything old school. But as it comes to my personal goals and my personal finances, I am going to try to do everything I can to do physical in 2021. So step 4, create bins and envelopes and spaces for each of the categories you selected. That's simple. And step 5, categorize it. Step 5, categorize it. Now that you have your spaces set up, you can confidently, one at a time, take it, look at it, and put it in its bucket. Jessica says, I have started writing in pencil for this reason. Jessica, I'm telling you, I think we're soul sisters, because my brain has started to absolutely melt